Hello, 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 and welcome to the Hildebrand Law Firm topic for today. I'm Matt Kaplan,
And I am Kathy Smith.
and today we're going to talk about communication.
Yes.
I have no idea, honestly, what Kathy is going to talk about, but Kathy came to me and she came into my office with tears in her eyes, and she said, Matt, sir, I really want to discuss communications today in our topic, in our YouTube video. Can we please do that? And she was sweating and crying and just totally verklempt. And she said, Matt, sir, can we please do this? And I said, Kathy, for you, anything. So we're going to talk about communication. She was about to go into a really interesting story about a seminar that she went to where she learned how to talk to people without cursing at them.
Yes.
So go ahead, Kathy.
Yes. You know, when you're my age, it's just easier to communicate straightforward and be, very blunt and to the point. And sometimes that includes swear words. I am trying to work on that. However,
Not a good excuse, Kathy. We are the same age.
Yeah, you know. Anyway, yes, I did recently attend a seminar.
Okay.
And it was very educational. It was staff and lawyers.
Okay.
And how we need to be able to communicate with each other so that we can understand the work that each one is required to do, what's expected of me, if we can offer you any guidance or suggestions, what we can do to help you with your job and to communicate all of that with your client.
Okay, so it was about communicating within the firm and then also communicating that to the client, and the best way to do both. So
Exactly.
Can you give me some examples about what you've learned? So you came into it thinking this is a great way to communicate, and then you were wrong.
Or I'm
maybe
never
you were
wrong.
right. I know. How could I say that? Of course you're not. Give me some examples about something that you may have learned.
I learned that when you're in a meeting with a client and you as the attorney are trying to express something, and I, being the senior paralegal,
It's true.
mind you, it's important that we each show the respect that each one of us deserves, not only as an individual, but you as the lawyer, me as a paralegal, and making it clear so that it's clear, but the client's always comfortable. And so when you're saying something, and maybe I have some point in my brain that I want to make clear, but make it nice, I always try to ask a question.
Oh, okay.
I don't talk over you. I don't talk over the client. I ask a question so then it brings that point up. And you always get the cues. You
For sure.
always do. Because you know what will happen later.
You chewed out.
Yeah, and it's very nice for the client, I think, to see the interaction between you and I or whomever, and to include them so that they feel that they can possibly ask those questions that they might have.
Okay, so give me an example. So let's say I'm in a meeting with a client. We're talking about Medicaid, and I may have said something that you think is incorrect, or perhaps I've said something and I haven't gone far enough, and you think there's something else I should be getting out of the client. So, like, what is the best way to interject and to make sure that I get that point across, or that you get that point across?
Well, most of the time I will start out with a question.
Okay.
I always will say, well, Matt, we just had this case that they had a loan situation with their Medicaid. And is that something that would be applicable in this case?
Okay.
And then that hands it back over to you, and it's more comfortable for the client. No one's arguing. We're appreciating the knowledge of the other, and then you always get the cue and
Yeah.
you take off.
Yeah, I would probably be like, "Oh yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you, Kathy. That's a good point. Yeah, I think that would work."
Mhm.
And I think hopefully correct me if I'm wrong. I think something like this really only works as long as the parties don't have egos.
True.
Because could you imagine if I had a super strong ego and you're like, Matt, you asked me that same question, I'd be like, no. I didn't come up with it, so it's wrong.
No, you
Yeah.
always do very well with the clients. You listen, and that's important too because there's a lot of times listening to the client and making them feel comfortable, you can extract some additional information that might be very very important for you.
Right. And I think working with clients as much as you have, you know that clients are not telling you 100% of the story.
Right.
You need
Right.
to try to pry the entire
Yes.
story out of them. It seems kind of counterintuitive, but people are, purposely omit facts to their lawyers all the time for one reason or other. Maybe they're embarrassed,
Yep.
or, maybe they just forgot.
Yep.
And so asking the right questions to
Mhm.
them and really trying to go into it and getting that information from them.
Right. A lot of times that's what it's all about. And you do have to dig a little bit deeper to get those questions answered and making them feel comfortable like they can ask you a question. It used to be where you'd go into a meeting with an older lawyer and they would tell you, and you as the client would sit there and listen, and you're going to do it this way. And now today, they don't react the same
Um,
and they don't like being told, but they want to share, but you have to give them that opportunity.
right. Well, especially, most of my clients are twice my age.
Mm-hmm.
They don't
As
want
I.
they don't want me to tell them what to do.
Right.
They are not going to take very kindly to that.
Well, you have a wonderful sense of humor and you
Oh, thank
talk
you.
to them, and as you get into the conversation, they start to feel comfortable. And that's a good thing. That's what makes you a good lawyer.
So it sounds like then making clients feel comfortable when you're talking to them, or also making clients feel comfortable when you're talking to someone on your team in
Mm-hmm.
front of them. So
Yep.
it seems like um, having self awareness is a
Right.
bit. It sounds like a big thing, and then using that self awareness to say, what is the point that I need to get across, and how is the client going to take that?
Right.
I love that.
Exactly. And most of our clients walk out of here with a very warm and cozy feeling, kind of that we're going to help them.
Mhm.
We know what we're talking about, and they can openly ask their questions, and we will answer them the best that we can, or we'll get that information for them.
Yeah, that's great. And I think too, especially working in a field of professionals, I've met with professionals before in other fields,
Mm-hmm.
and I respect what they have to say because I'm meeting with them because I don't know what to do. And
Mm-hmm.
so I just think, how would I want this person to talk to me?
Right.
And that's how I want to talk to them.
Right.
You feel
Absolutely.
the same way?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You have to listen as much as you talk.
Yes. One of the phrases that I've heard one time is that you were born with 2 ears
And
and one mouth.
and that's very true. And sometimes
Yep.
you just need to zip it.
And I was born with two stuffed nostrils, so which is why I sound like this. But no, Kathy, I mean I think that's really a really important thing because we've done videos before about customer service and making it so that clients actually like you and want to refer people to you. But really, the client is coming here, they're entrusting in us. They're
Mhm.
they're putting their guard down and they're saying, I don't know what to do. I need your help. And if we can have them leave here feeling not only that their feelings are validated, but also that we didn't talk above them, we talked to them and
Right.
with them, and that we listened to them and what their issues were and helped them solve
Yep.
their issues.
And sometimes that's all they really need to be convinced that you are the attorney that will do the best job for them.
Yeah, and I actually want to tell a story about a time where Kathy really did really well on something like this. I had a client who, sometimes I have clients that just like to talk. They really have nobody to talk to, and they just like to talk, and they just go on and on and on. And my training as a lawyer is to issue spot, and so I want to figure out what are the issues, get to it, solve them. But some people just want to talk and they want to give you background and I don't care about certain backgrounds. I don't care if you had a previous will and you chose this person as your personal representative because that person was nice to you up until 20 years ago when they did this to your brother and then all of this and then this happened and then this happened and I'm like, I don't care. Who do you want your personal representative to be? And so I was having an issue with that client, and I went and talked to Kathy about it. And Kathy's like, for some people, you just have to listen, and they will eventually give you the information, but they just need to be listened to.
Mhm.
And Kathy really helped me out with that client, and she called the client with me standing right there, and she just listened. And I think the client went on for a half hour for us to get
Yeah.
maybe 5 questions answered.
Yep.
But we eventually got everything answered. We were eventually able to do an amendment for that client, and all because of Kathy's approach. And if I, hadn't followed your approach, probably would have never got it done. Probably would have had a disgruntled, upset client.
Yeah.
And so, communication,
Yep.
is really big.
It is key. It is key. You can keep a client happy, or you will lose them.
For sure. Well, that was fascinating. Thank you so much, Kathy. Hopefully,
You are welcome.
hopefully you'll come back and we'll talk more about fun things. But until next time, please leave a comment down below, a fun story about a communication issue,
Yeah.
or a fun story, or also leave in the comments, guess Kathy's age.
Yeah.
Price is Right rules. If you guess over, you get 0.
That's right. I will hunt you down. Okay.
So
Till next time.
and just know that here at Hildebrand Law Firm, we're always here to protect your today and your tomorrow. Thank you.